Hello Virgos, how you doing? Welcome back to the Astroflower for your weekly energy reading going from the 15th through to the 21st. Happy birthday to all of you having your birthday within that week there, taking you right up to the limit of Virgo at the moment. For the majority of Virgos, if you've had your birthday already, it's already the New Year's energy is starting to flow back into your life. For those of you having your birthday this week, it's like a new year for you. Concentrating on your New Year's resolutions will be a good thing. Yes. Okay. So, Messages from Energy was all about, this came out on Wednesday. It was all about becoming a multi-dimensional person. So working on different levels at the same time, and sometimes working on this on one problem or one goal can actually mean that you're working on several different aspects of your soul life, as it were, so on this planet at one time. And it's recognizing that, and it's recognizing where you put your energies into is going to be quite important, I think, as we go forward. Yes. So the other thing, it was all about the throat chakra as well, and exploring the idea of throat chakra, of how that connects to energy that is everything that is around us, and feeling the room, and giving another nuance on everything that's going on around you. So you can start, using your clairvoyancy side more than anything else. The elements that we were talking about on the Messages from Energy was to do with earth and water. Because we're in that transitional zone, we've got another earth coronal hole sort of facing us today. I do think, though, that fire is going to be coming up more into sort of like, I would have said around about the sort of 17th, 18th, and it'd be interesting to see whether there's not a solar eruption at the same time as we have a solar eclipse, because that's what's coming up at the end of the week. So that's all going to be sort of like pretty interesting to sort of see what's going on there. We also got the live as well coming out at the weekend, and plenty of other energy videos on the channel. In the meantime, let's get some messages from energy, chakra sequencing, and pulling a few cards for you as we go forward. If you've got a question that you want channeled, do put it down in the comments section, and we will sort of answer it in next week's reading. Let's get on with your connection to the energies this week here. Okay, finding that neutral point as we're sat upon an energy line that goes through this property here. Excellent. This is lovely energy. Okay. There's an emotional truce that's going on at the moment. It feels like that's what's happening within your life, and I'm not even sure that it's with someone else. It's not what I sort of get out of it. It's not like you're in an emotional conflict with someone. You could well be, for some of you, and for some of you, it will be an emotional sort of like ceasefire for the moment. Moment of peace, as it were, or at least energies trying to encourage that within your life. But generally, more to for the majority of people, I would have thought it's going to be more of a moment of a ceasefire in the, trying to do so many things in life. I get this sensation of you kind of like the energies kind of sort of saying, okay, let's separate the two here. So, let's separate work and play, get it all into very good clarity within our vision. So then therefore you're not burning yourself out in one thing and not in the other, and losing out on the other one because you're working too much or whatever it is. And it seems to be like this week here, it seems to be kind of like, okay, let's calm everything, let's slow everything right down for the time being. So I think it works really well for you in the way of energy. You get this sort of like column of blue that comes down here, and you can see both sides, which is red and green, on either side, and it gives like two distinct sort of like energies. On the earth energy, obviously that's when you get earth energy within your financial side. You get a lot of energy that comes in that sort of side. You've got a lot of earth energy in general. Um, but it's the water element that seems to be the converting thing between ideas into reality. And I think this is where the emotional side of things are coming in between the ideas and converting them into reality and doing them. You're getting an emotional sort of peace in a way. That's what it seems like. That's where the general sort of energies that are coming through. Is there any sort of vision that comes along with this? Very difficult for you, this Virgo. Enjoying, not necessarily, it's not difficult for you, but enjoying the moment, taking time for you. And it seems like it's so important because it's going to get very busy for you. And this is a moment to sort of like recollect within you. And it's not going to last long, to be honest. It's only going to last a few days. But during those few days, when it calms down a bit, don't allow yourself to get frustrated and kind of nervous or kind of going, oh, look, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. Because you love to be doing something all the time, Virgo. And because you love to be doing something all the time, when you're not doing something, it makes you feel a little bit nervous about things. And I don't think you should be. I think you should be able to enjoy the moment fully. And it's I don't think it's a novelty for you, but it sort of seems like a novelty for you. Okay, let's just see what's going on the financial side for you. See what's happening there. It seems like you've got more than one possibility on the horizon, and you could say you're hedging your bets, but I think it's more of a case of sort of like you do like to have more than one iron in one fire. So you got more than one iron in one fire. It's you've got this. You might be working on your property at the same time working on your career, and then like writing a book in your spare time or whatever it is. But all three of them, they're all sort of working towards gaining or getting results and stuff like that. And on the financial side, I think you've got a there's one thing that's sticking out, which has to do with a creative side of you more than anything else. So, if you've got like if you're doing a job and you've got like you've started something on a sideline, a side hustle, as it were, and you that is your side that is a lot more creative, like a singer or a YouTube channel. I think it might be worthwhile investigating whether it's worthwhile doing a lot more on that than on the other side. Because it seems to be out of the three angles, there's a much more sort of driving force for that creative side of life for you. And if you can, if it works for you, then in theory, because you'll be creating and enjoying, you'll never be working again. So maybe it's a case of streamlining things this week here. So um, making sure you can do, that what you want to do in your day is very possible. Okay, let's just have a look and see what's going on the relationship side of life for you. If nothing is going on, if there's not too much noise going on around you in the way of life, there's not so many things flying about at the moment. Maybe it's a case here to be mentally stimulated by what you already have on your plate. And I think within the relationship side here, I think you're looking for stimulation, but not necessarily stimulation as in yeah, on the physical sort of sense. It's more sort of like an intellectual sort of stimulation that you're looking for, and you know, exploring ideas with someone seems to be very important. Let's see if we can get another vision on that. See what's going on there. it's like you want to take somebody on a journey, or they want to take you on a journey. I think it's more you want to take them on a journey, to be honest. Um, and it's like, you want to go on the journey of life, and sometimes the journey of life doesn't necessarily mean moving somewhere. It may mean, the exploration of you and your connection to your partner or someone new. When you meet someone new, you tend to spend a lot of time together, not really maybe going off on holidays and stuff like that. It's really sort of doing, everyday stuff together. And it's, obviously going out to a cinema or going out for a meal or something like that, or eating over at theirs and they come into yours and what have you. And it's, it feels like that's where the stimulation is coming into play on an everyday level with the relationship side. What's going on the spiritual front for Virgo? I don't know if we mentioned that last week. It's sort of like as if like either you've been given the book or you've given the book back. I think it's something along felt like there was something along those sort of lines there. Yeah, and it's like be careful of the rules and regulations that that I think you need to be careful of perfection in regards to spirituality, because it could turn to be end up being like a rod for your back. And within the imperfections, that's where we learn a lot. And I think this is like spiritually sort of I think spirit is sort of saying to you, try things out. Don't worry about getting it wrong, because when you get it wrong, you learn a lot. But it's almost as if like you're trying out your understanding or your spiritual engagement, your activities that you do, sort of could be sort of prayer, meditation, or yoga, or whatever it is you sort of like do, and just sort of seeing how far you can push it and push the limits, and doing it in maybe even slightly different ways to what you've learned and stuff like that, to sort of see what fits right for you more than anything else. But it is a bit of a tightrope that you're walking, and you're bound to get it wrong occasionally. So just be prepared to get it wrong. And then when you do get it wrong, you learn enormous amounts. Let's just have a look at the chakra sequencing for you and see what's going on there. Okay, we're back to that 0 point energy there. Connecting to the energy. Here we go. We've got that connection behind the sternum. And there we go. We got the crown and the root. Obviously, there's movement within your life. Because the crown and the root are, they're very nice, but they're not imposing. And that's been a repeating theme over the last sort of like 2 or 3 weeks from the majority of signs. And I think it's because you know what you want, and it's patience is a virtue. And it's sometimes difficult to achieve patience when we so desperately want to be doing stuff. And it can come across more as frustration than anything else. But in a way that if you started trying to, do too much or provoke too much in a way, I think you'll cause more frustration than anything else. So, I'd just be understanding that you've got several clear goals that you want to achieve within your life, and just let them stay there. And then obviously you're filling in all the blanks in order to get towards that goal, basically. And it's going to take some time. But yeah, that seems to be well set within you. Where's it moving on to after the crown and the root? So it moves on to the solar plexus. And this solar plexus is complete. It's not particularly in one area or the other. I think there's a bit of passion here, because you have a control over the air and the fire more so, because that's what's within, there is a part of that that's within you, and certainly in the here and now. And, as your pure earth sign, and the energy that's coming through is earth and water, You don't have to search for that within you so much. It's being auto fed. And that air and fire that's in the crossing point just below your here and now is all about this sort of like connecting, your passions and your mental stimulation. But you've got to have this determination to go ahead and do it. But it's that patience of holding back and waiting for the right moment to do it. This week here, it's at the beginning, as I say, I think it's going to be a little bit frustrating for you, and then it's going to kick in. So by Wednesday next week, I think things are going to really start kicking in for you. But in the first sort of, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it might be a moment where you're sort of like, you're waiting. There's a lot of anticipation, but it hasn't quite arrived for you. And patience, that's when you're going to need to be a bit patient. And it is building this force within your solar plexus. So a lot of courage and a determination that will be unleashed during the week. Where's it moving on to now? So it goes on to the third eye and the throat chakra. Clarity of vision. This is where you can play with your throat chakra as well. I think in that first beginning part of the week, you can explore expanding your throat chakra. So therefore, you expand your clairvoyancy side, where you feel things a lot more in the world around you. And as you feel things, then that will provoke and spark sort of curiosity and ideas for your future. Seeing how things lay could be within relationships as much as in your financial side. But whatever it is, it's it's a real clear vision that's coming towards you, where you've got to, as I say, streamlining something or one of the things that you do into one direction rather than dispersing in too many different places. I think you need to go towards what works for you more than anything else in a creative sense, as I said earlier on. And that's where you can streamline things and really start focusing on your future. Okay, where does it move on to next? And it moves on to the sacrum, coming back towards the idea of fundamental or foundation energy here. And there is a lot to be done still, and there could be a lot of sort of things are things. The ball is rolling for you on your pathway, but there may be still sort of administration to do. There may be checking up on jobs and etc., checking up on how the people are working for you or with you and stuff like that. But it's being attentive to the finer details and making sure that everything is also contributing to your greater good, as it were. Because once you're in a really good place, everybody else can be in a really good place. Financially, if you're in a good place, then therefore you can spend a lot of money on other people as well, which I know you like doing. That's it's the fundamental things, getting the crossing the T's and dotting the I's, as it were. I think is going to be very good for you. And then it does go back to the crown and the root. And the crown seems to be a little bit more important than the root chakra more than anything else. Yeah, it's maybe a conscious. This is the shift that's coming through for you, and it looks like it really on Wednesday next week, around about the 17th. I think that's when the sparks are going to start flying for you. Okay, let's just pull a few cards. If you've got a question that you want answered, please do put it in the comments section and we'll answer it in next week's reading. Thank you for subscribing and all of that malarkey. Let's just pull a card for you on your financial side and see what's going on there. Then we'll look at the relationship side. Then we'll look at the general energy that's going on around you. On your financial side, you get the Nine of Pentacles. There you go. You get the sacrum there with the Six of Pentacles. And then on the other side, you get the Three of Pentacles, which is, I think you're being recognized of the work you've done. And as I said, the ball's rolling already. So you don't have to do much in the beginning part of the week here. You just have to recognize the fruit that are ripe, that you can constantly pick. So if you think of a tomato plant and you have like a bunch of because that's what it is, a bunch of tomatoes. It's like a stalk, and then you've got the tomatoes that gradually go back. They ripen over time. So the first two ripen at the end. And so you can harvest tomatoes perpetually from the same plant. And I think this is what you're doing here. It's now you're starting getting the first rewards. And once you start getting the first rewards, the next one is not far behind. And it's recognizing that it's constantly turning over for you. And knowing your pathway is really good. On your relationship side, you've got the Wheel of Fortune, spinning things in your favor or choosing a direction that is good for you in regards to sort of relationships, and deepening the connection that you can have with someone. And this is where you might feel that there's a lot of movement going on with you in your life, sort of on the emotional and personal side of life. You're not actually really going anywhere, but you're exploring loads. And I think this is possibly someone that is, you're really starting to learn to connect with someone in a very, very good way here. It does breed very nice for you. Within you, that's flowing through you, is the Strength card. So it is staying strong and true to your goals. I think that's what that solar plexus is all about as well. Playing on multitudes of different levels, getting a very rounded determination, which liberates all the rest of you, your heart and your third eye, your throat chakra, all of those sort of things. It allows your energy to live because you're following exactly what you should be doing. Okay, so there you go, Virgo. Thanking you very much for being here. Thanking you very much for your subscription, liking and sharing and all of that malarkey. I will see you at the live at the weekend, or possibly on the Messages from Energy or the other energy videos that we do on this channel. I'll speak to you soon. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.